The Tupac movie came out since last time we talked.
Right.
And then there's been a bunch of documentaries about the thing, about, the various theories about what had happened. Did you hear about the Keefe D thing?
No, I know Keefe D too.
You know Keefe D.
I was in prison with Keefe D. Keith Davis. We was in
Right.
Tracy prison.
Orlando Anderson's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever hear his what he told the police?
Yeah, I did.
Keefe, today what we're going to do, we're just going to go over with a fine-tooth comb the Las Vegas incident. We're going to draft up our report as regarding that specific thing. And then we're going to cover a few other things that we do have to emphasize to you that everything in this report has to be right on, because if down the road it's determined that some of these details are incorrect, then everything's off the table. So everything in this report cannot be like that report.
Hey, I want to say this though too. I feel like I said that day, don't bullshit me, and I won't bullshit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Lane starts blasting. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he look at me.
Okay.
Why are you looking right at me?
Fucking known each other since we were 7, 8 years old.
When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
In
of
the
line.
back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their
Jumping
car?
in. I seen a bullet going Suge head. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot
Who's this person?
across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side. I would have popped them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
What'd you think?
It was everything I could do just to like sit there and not have my mouth hanging open while I was listening to it. You know what I mean? I walked the prison yard with this guy. He was a real factor from over there. He was getting bread over there. I remember the lowriders shops and stuff. He had a root beer 64 in one of them. And I went to him, I was like, man, that's banging. I was like, who's this? I mean, it's Keefe D. Keefe D. Where Keefe D at? So, and then I was like, I wound up a couple years later, like, yeah, I was over there with Keefe D. And then people looking at me like this, and I'm like, what's happening? What's up with Keefe? Like, man. And then I finally got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I know a number of people from that neighborhood and people I've interviewed and so forth. They all tell me that's Keefe D on that tape. Yeah. That's not a fake tape. That is Keefe D's voice. And I interviewed Greg Kading. After all of the confessions that he gave you guys, what did that result in for him?
It resulted in him getting away with murder. It resulted in him getting away with a very serious federal drug offense. So, he walked away from this thing basically unscathed.
So you guys actually dropped your charges against him?
We had never actually charged him. We just informed him of the potential charges that we had built, but we never charged him.
Okay, so based on what he came in and said, the U.S. District Attorney agreed not to go forward with the charges
That's
against
correct.
Keefe D.
That's correct.
Right. Sad.
So you don't respect that
At all.
at all?
Not one bit.
And why is that?
That's against the code. It's against the code, man. Take it like a man. Ride it out. Deal with it like it come. You know what I'm saying? You signed up for this shit. Nobody signed nobody up for this gangbanging shit.
Well, you could say that who he was telling on was already dead and didn't have any effect, right? Because Orlando had already passed by that
The
time.
byproduct, like you said, though, the blowback, because you telling about what somebody else did and who else was involved, and you know what I'm saying? So now you got a spotlight on them as well, and ain't just about the person.
Everyone in that car except for Keefe's dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all the people he named, Orlando got killed afterwards. Other people died from various reasons. He's the only living person in that car. So everyone who he's naming is not around anymore.
Well, he was on the hot sheet before then. You know what I mean? As far as his name and reputation. So, it is what it is, man. That's a Compton situation. I'm from Long Beach. You feel me? But it's a Crip situation, so I just, I offer my little 3 cents on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect that.
Yeah. Well, I think, in the very least, it kind of got rid of the whole Suge theory that Suge had Tupac assassinated while he was sitting in the car, and the whole car shot up all to hell, and people still think that Suge has something to do with it. Like,
well, I actually went out there that night that it happened with Snoop after we was in the studio making some music, and Dad came back from New York, and Suge asked Snoop, was he gonna go out there and watch the fight with him? And Pac was mad at Snoop, about the radio situation.
Right. I didn't actually know about that.
Yeah.
So Snoop went on the radio and said he had no problems with Bad Boy.
When they asked him, they asked Pac, and Pac was like, Pac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they asked Dog, Dog was Dog. Hey, man, I don't know about all that. Whatever he got with him, that's, this my label mate and all that. But my experience with him is, they embrace me. You know what I'm saying? When I come out here, they look out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, they pay homage and records and all that. So I don't got that same, energy toward them.
Right.
And that, that kind of like, that kind of like rubbed Pac very wrong.
Yeah, because I guess Pac felt that Snoop should have been riding with him because they all death row.
Right. But come on, man, you a grown man. A man gonna be a man.
Right.
I'm not gonna act like another man want me to act just because that's gonna appease him if I don't really feel that way. If I don't feel that way, I don't give a damn how you feel about something. You know what I'm saying? If the question is asking me about how I feel, I'm not gonna say, well, the deepest I would have got with that is I would have said, hey, however the homie doing it, man, you know what I'm saying? That's what we on. You know what I'm saying? But, you asking me a personal question, I'm going to respond in truth. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it caused some friction, so that's why Dog didn't want to go out there. So when they went out there, we went to the studio and made some music, and he got a call from Suge, like, about the situation, and me, Snoop, the driver, Bobby Earl, the security, Kenny, and his uncle Rio, we hopped in the Hummer. He had a blue Hummer then, and we shot out to Vegas, the Suge house. And I talked to the guy, Trey, who had his chain snatched in the mall that had ignited that whole situation.
Okay. And that his name was Trey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he was part of Death Row.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he an employee, or was he just kind of?
No, he was a rapper. I believe he was a rapper or something. He was an aspiring rapper or something, or he was just part of the entourage.
Right. So he was walking around. Was it Compton?
No, it was in Lakewood Mall actually.
Well, where's Lakewood?
Lakewood's like right outside of Long Beach, right?
Okay. Oh, so
next to Bellflower.
Okay, so this was something that you were kind of familiar with because it was close to where you were.
More because it was a death row incident.
Okay, right. So he's walking around Lakewood Mall with a death row chain on.
And then I think they rushed him in the Foot Locker or somewhere, hit him up and snatched his chain in the
Southside Crips.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's how the story was told.
Okay. So they ended up taking his chain. Did you guys ever get that chain back, or?
I don't know what became of that chain.
Right, because there was a rumor that Orlando was wearing the chain or something at the MGM, but I don't think that.
I never knew what became of the chain actually, but he was there, and we went in the back guest house and waited for Suge to get back, and Suge came back and he had the knot on his head from where the bullet grazed him, and he gave us a rundown of how everything took place, and it was like hours old. You know what I mean? So I never was taken with the theory that he set Pac up, because I don't care what hitman you get, you're not gonna say, yeah, just scrape me on the top of my head. You're not even gonna play around that area. You might say, okay, shoot me in my arm or something, but they got riddled.
Right, the whole car was shot up.
They got riddled.
This was not like a hitman with like a scope,
No,
on top of a building.
Pull up and get off.
Yeah, just empty the whole clip
Yeah.
in the car, which is essentially what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from everything that I've heard from all the people I've talked to off the record, and I'm not going to say who because it was always off the record.
Right.
But they all confirmed what Keefe D said matches up. Point blank period. The story he laid out is what happened. And, since the people involved aren't around anymore.
I mean, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. If you're comfortable with what you do, hey, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got to look at yourself in the mirror every day. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be comfortable with that reflection. If you figure, what you did wasn't that critical to what you stand for, it wasn't damaging to your character or reputation, and you can stand by that, then, hey, who am I to say you wrong? You know what I mean? Because you got to live with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, he's still out.
Mm-hmm.
He's still, I don't know if he goes back to his old neighborhood anymore. I'm not quite sure how that works out.
Yeah. I couldn't really say either. I don't know. It's a different time. It's a different time out here now as far as like snitches and all that, and people that's perceived as snitches, or I don't know.